The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everybody. My name is Scott Ellis. I hope you all can hear me. We are going to take a look at HOBOware. And I need to show you my screen, so that always helps. Thank you. Hopefully you all can see my screen now here. We're going to take a quick look at some features within HOBOware Pro. What we're going to cover today is how to merge data files, how to copy a series, how to filter your data. We've got a couple different options there, and then getting into some of our data assistants. Before we get started, just want to make sure everybody's on the same page as me. The latest release is 3.1.2 of HOBOware Pro. If you do need to upgrade, you can just go to check for updates and upgrade off the website. And also, if you need to reference any of this, all this information is in HOBOware Help, which is also installed onto your computer. So we're going to take a dive in to HOBOware. And to get things started here, we're going to take a look at a couple on-off data files that we have. And we're just going to open these up. And we'll open up another one here. So as you can see, I've been recording at the furnace runtime of my house now since 2008. And what I've ended up here is basically 3 different data files. And they're all in different files. If I was to just copy these into another file, basically I end up with data that looks a little skewed here. So what I want to do is basically bring everything into one data file. So what I'm going to do is close a couple of these, and we're going to use the merge function. You click on File and then go down to Merge Data Files. And I'm going to grab my other 2 data files here. You can hold down the Control key to select multiple files, and then we hit Open. Basically, it shows me what I'm going to be able to plot in the series. I'm going to hit Plot, and what it's now done is extended out my entire data set here, ranging back from 2007 all the way up through current data, and it's basically put everything into one column. We're just going to take a look at one other way to do this here. We've just got a couple files. If you want to see it with multiple parameters, we have the temperature and humidity. And again, you just come up the merge, you select your 2 other files, and hit Open. You'll see some information here, your serial number of the data logger, and it allows you to basically scroll on down through and show what you want to plot. We hit Plot, and what that's done now is combined all the information here into one large file. So merging is really that easy. We're going to take another look here. We're going to open up some project files that I've already combined, and we're going to get into copying your data. So what we're going to do is take our data. Basically, I've been recording temperature and humidity data. We're just going to look at temperature. And there's a couple ways you can copy. One is to come in and highlight it in the series and then right-click and come down to Copy Series. And not crop. Sorry there. Come down to Copy Series and then go over to the graph where we want to combine everything, and then you can right-click and hit Paste Series. We're going to keep grabbing some of these guys here. One of the things that you will want to do is actually change the name of the series, and this can be done by going into Graph Properties. It just helps you know which data set is which once you've copied it all in. Now another way to copy, I showed you the right click. Another way is clicking over here in the Details pane and then going up to Edit and Copy Series. Again, we're going to come back over to our other file here, and we're we're going to go to Edit and Paste. Now, as you can see, I've got a couple that are all the same color. If you do want to change colors, again, you can highlight it and come down to Graph Properties. And we can do things like make it red. You can also change this to a solid line. And we hit Done. We're going to copy a couple more in so we get a complete overview of what's going on with the house. Another way to do this is with key commands. As you can see next to here, it's Control-C or Control-V for paste and copy. For you Apple folks, it's Command-C or V. And we'll just paste that right in. And once again, we'll just come up here and change our colors real quick. Get a good old green one in here, and we'll hit Done. One more thing we're going to copy is we'll bring in our on-off data. There is a nice feature here that I'd like to show you. We hit Copy, and then Paste. It's a little overwhelming with all this information here. One of the things that HOBOware will do for you, if you don't have all your data synced up like I did with the temperature data, and I'm just going to use the crosshair tool so it'll bring it to a particular point in time within your data file. When you have on-off data, or let's say your data just is not synced all together, so all my temperature readings are taken every 15 minutes, as you can see, what happens is the on-off data gets put right in here and gets synced up so you can easily export this. Now, once you've made modifications, I do recommend that you save this as a project file. What this is going to allow you to do is come back and work on this file in the future, but it also has all of your, you still keep all of your existing data so it doesn't get lost. Now, one of the things, this is a little messy, especially with the motor on-off data in here. So what we're going to do is take a look at filters. So what I'm actually going to do is remove this series for now, and that can be done by going up to Edit and Remove Series. And again, all this stuff is accessible when you highlight something and you right-click. We have a huge menu here, so if you ever get lost in the software, usually right-clicking is a good thing. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at how to filter the data. And what we mean by filter is really kind of dive into the data and making it a little more meaningful. Although it's good to see when the furnace is turned on and off exactly, sometimes it's not that easy to interpret. So what we're going to do here is take a look. Percentage time high means the time on, percentage time low is off, and then we have it in time in seconds on and seconds off as well. And you can do this a number of different ways by a particular interval, and then we have day, hour, minute, and second. For this, what I'm just going to do is do the day, and we'll just title this, and we hit OK. What it does is it creates another series now. So now we have within the data set here at the top of every day, it'll give you your percentage. And then we'll filter this one other way. And we're going to take a look at the seconds on, basically. And we can do that on an hourly time frame. And hit OK. And again, you can take a look here. And now it's put in the number of seconds over that hour. Now, if you're gonna work with your data or export it here, you can get rid of, essentially remove the raw data by removing the series. And now you kind of have a nice synced up every hour here. You can see what your data was. So what we're going to do is take our daily runtime. We're going to copy it and then paste it back in. Yeah, and that's going to be your data here. So what we're going to do is take a look at a couple of other filters. That's the runtime filter. We do have different filters depending upon what your data is. So the first one we're going to take a look at here, just open our file. What I've got here is both pulse data as well as temperature data, and you get two different filters here. What we're doing is recording our air conditioning unit as well as the temperature basically during July. The first thing we're going to want to do here is filter the energy data. Again, you can click on this and come up to Edit and Filter Series. This gives you a little different options. When it comes to counts or pulses or energy, you're really looking for the total over a time frame. So we're going to look at this again at a daily basis, but if you want to bring this down to hourly or you want to change it to minutes, you can do that as well. And I'm going to try to answer questions on the fly here, so if you folks do want to type in some questions, I'll address these as we go along here. So feel free to shoot off a couple questions as we go. So we're gonna plot this, and what it's now done is given me the daily total for my kilowatt hours. What we're also going to do is take a look at the temperature data here, and we're going to filter this. This gives you the ability to do max, min, and average. So we're going to do this real quick and just do a max. Again, we'll do filter, we'll do an average, or do a minimum first, and then we'll come back and do our average. And what you're building here is a really quick way to look at your data and kind of get down into the details of it. And again, now we've got all this data here. We've got the 1 minute data, which, to be honest with you, is probably overkill, but we recorded that because we could. So now what we're going to do is remove a couple of these series. And we'll remove this. And so essentially what you have here is daily energy usage as well as your max, min, and average temperature. Now we did get a question to come in, can we manually change the range on my axis? Yeah, we can change them on actually both. By using your arrow tool and then coming down and double-clicking on your time axis, you can actually set exactly what you want to see. So we'll do this, and we'll hit apply. And so we've gotten into a particular time frame. This also applies for this axis as well. If you ever want to change your bounds, you can change the bounds here. We'll hit done. Another way to do that, obviously, also is just using the zoom tool, where you can just come in and zoom to a particular point. But again, if you want to a specific time frame, you can do that as well. Yeah, and one more question on the filters. To create a key. Over here, we do have the key over here. You can change this as you create your filters. So once you've created your filter, you can come in and change this to, I'll spell it all the way out. Doing that, and you hit done. So over here in the corner, you can see that you've now changed that over here. That is also done at the time of when you filter your series. You can change the name here, and when it creates the new series, what it's done, it's given the new name up top, as well as given this to you over here. Over there. So what we're going to do now, let's just take a look here and see where we're at. So we've gone over merging, copying, and how to filter. The next step here is what we're going to do is take a look at some of our data assistants. And in order to show this, actually what we've got, I've got a couple data loggers that are plugged in. and we're going to come up to the launch menu. And first of all, we're going to take a look at our Energy Logger Pro. Give me just a second here, and this will come up. Now, there's a couple things that you can do to essentially scale your data before you deploy your logger. At the generic, the pulse adapter basically records in counts. Now, you can come in and highlight this and then go to Data Assistance. And we're going to use the kilowatt hour assistant and hit Create. We've got a couple different options here for you. We support 2 kilowatt hour transducers in the Verus and the WattNode product. Basically what you do is you come down and click your part number. We've got a couple Verus ones, and they actually have a couple different outputs depending upon what you set. But in this case, we're going to be using the WattNode. And actually, you set your amperage size. I'm going to put in 100 amps. And then you have the ability to how you're going to plot your data. So you can use this in kilowatt hours, your average power, and then your cost as well. And what we're going to do is save the parameter. And then while I'm in here, I'm also going to show you the pulse scaling. So if, let's say you had a rain gauge connected up to it, let's say, you can basically say that 1 raw count equals, in this case, the tipping bucket rain gauge that we offer has a 100th of an inch per pulse output. So we're going to save this parameter. Then we're going to hit Done. Now, it doesn't automatically change here, but if you click on Status, this brings you into the status screen, and essentially what it's going to show you is the readings that this logger can take, as well as the parameters that we've just created here. So you can see that these are grayed out right now, but this is going to show up in our plot dialog box when we go to plot our data. You also have the ability to, when you have analog inputs, so something that's a generic input like 4 to 20 milliamps or DC voltage input, you can also scale these, not only in the Energy Logger, but I'll show you how to do this on a U12 as well, because it's just slightly differently. But you hit the configure, and then you can hit the load button here, which brings up a whole list of sensors that we currently support. You can choose your particular sensor. That's a pressure transducer, and we hit Continue. As you can see, it now puts in the correct scaled parameters. From here, we hit Configure, and it brings me over to the second channel. Now, when you have something that is your own sensor, it's not on OnSet's list, you can scale this to literally whatever you want. So my custom unit will be me, and we'll have a 0 to million output. And basically you can just hit Configure, 10 million. And what ends up happening is when the external channels come back up here, takes just a second. With the analog input, actually, it's now going to show you what you had configured it for. And the one thing that I forgot to change was the custom name. And so we'll change that and then configure that. And now when the series comes back up here, we will now see that it has Hobo as a unit. So there we go. Let's take another look here at, let's switch over to the U12, where the U12s do this slightly differently. And what you're going to do on your external inputs, you come down and select the appropriate input cable, and then you click on scaling. And what this allows you to do is basically scale the series. You can put in, again, whatever you want. And actually, I'll just call that CO2. And what that'll do is scale that through. And again, that will show up in your plot dialog box. Another way to do this actually is once you've read out your data, and let me just open up a data file here that that has some of this information here. Let's say you didn't set up your scaling. So here's a great example. I have this counts channel. We're recording the kilowatt hours off the air conditioning unit, and we forgot to set this up before we launched the logger. So now what we want to do is do this on the back end. You click the toggle arrow here for data assistance, and then you can basically come through and hit process. And what this allows you to do is select the channel that you want to. And again, it gives you all the same parameters that we had before. This works a little differently because you hit create series, and what it automatically does now is inserts these particular series right in. And again, if you had a pulse output, just a generic output, you could scale this to. Again, we'll scale air conditioning information into rain because we can. And then we'll take a look at linear scaling assistant as well. Although I don't have any parameters, let me just take a look. Actually, it looks like I can scale my leaf wetness sensor here. So if I wanted to tweak the output on this, I could, and it creates the new series. And from here we hit plot, and as you can see, what we've done is we've now scaled the information. So we have the energy data, the average power in kilowatts, our cost, as well as inches of rain. You can take a quick look. Actually, it looks like I didn't have any information there. And then the scaled series. So that's pretty much everything that we're going to cover today. I'm going to open up the floor to a couple questions, and actually it looks like we did have a couple that came in. So bear with me here. We do have it's one that I didn't cover here. When you get into barometric pressure, if you're using our water level logger and you need to do the barometric compensation, there is a way to do that. And I apologize, but I don't believe I have a file that's going to do that for me. Your data assistant essentially is going to show up here, and then what that is going to do is basically allow you to step through the information there. And looks like we've got a couple more questions coming in, so feel free to fire those along. Well, this particular question isn't related to HOBOware, but we've got a question on what sort of loggers can you use for outdoor lights. There is a couple options depending upon whether you want to measure light levels or whether you want to do on-off. And that's been looked at a couple different ways. If you're looking to do the runtime, the way that folks have done this is basically used what we call a state logger, and then connected it up to a current switch, because it is kind of tough to get, you know, especially if you're looking at overhead lights. You want to do both. Okay, I'd say probably your easiest way here is use this logger here connected up to what we call an AC current switch, and you're basically monitoring the power going to that light. And then from there, if you actually want to monitor the light levels, we do have an outdoor product. It's called our pendant, which is a weatherproof product. And this will allow you to measure both temperature and light levels. You can actually turn off the temperature, so your light sensor's here, and you'll just want to point that up. It's a weatherproof product, and you can put that essentially, well, not right on the light, but you know, someplace that makes sense there. Do we have any other questions? We've got a question about occupancy. We don't exactly have an occupancy sensor or logger yet, but that's certainly something that we're looking at, and Mike, I will be in touch with you. The logger that I was doing, yeah, we are recording this, definitely, so thank you, good point. This will be available on our website later. One of the nice features of the GoToWebinar that you can record all of this. In terms of the logger that I was using specifically for the furnace runtime, it can actually be done two different ways, and that can be done again with this state logger and this clamp. If you don't have direct access to the actual motor housing itself, basically this wire, this clamps right around one of the power wires. But the particular logger that I was using is something called our motor on-off logger. It's kind of a cool little product. That basically has an AC field sensor built right into it. And what you do is you put this right onto the motor itself. You've got a little light on the side here too, actually. When you go to deploy these guys, you want to make sure that before you actually walk away, that you have your motor running, the logger running, and this green light is flashing. That's really your indicator to make sure that you've got it positioned in the right spot. And basically, when it turns off, the red light is going to flash for you. So again, it's got its own memory in here. Another good question here came in. If the batteries fail, most of our products have about a year battery life. You do not lose data. Basically, the data logger uses double EEPROM memory, and it's going to hold on to the data right up until the point of it stopped recording, at which point, when you're back out in the field, you can pop in a new battery and then download that data, and then you're off and running again. Another good question: how would we do the runtime on a U30? We don't exactly have a runtime sensor. The way that I've done it in the past actually has been using an amperage sensor and essentially recording every minute. That is, let me just get back to a file here. I blew that one completely up. All right, let me open up this file here. And what we were doing was trying to troubleshoot basically some our rooftop units here. We were having some problems, and what we ended up doing, sorry guys, let me just open up the correct file. And this file here, what we were doing was recording every minute, and really what we were trying to do was do some troubleshooting. So essentially what you can see here is runtime data. Although the U30 can't do it directly, you can obviously see middle of the day during business hours. We've got our five days of the week here, and if you drill into the top of the data here, and again, use your crosshair tool if you want to move into a particular spot within that, and you can start to see when this thing was turning on and off essentially, and how much it was drawing. So to the question out there with the U30, I'd definitely get in touch with the product application folks here, and they'll be able to help you step through what you're going to need, whether you want to do that with kilowatt hours or just an amperage sensor. So I've got a couple more questions coming in. We do sell all the batteries. The smaller loggers that we were looking at here, the Pendant and the State Logger, and any of these little guys, it's an off-the-shelf battery. It's a Sony CR2032. That, to be honest with you, I saw it in the checkout line of Stop and Shop. They go for a couple bucks. I believe CVS has them in 2-packs, but we also do have them available to you, and our part number is HRV-TEMP, T-E-M-P, and they come in a box of 6, and it's just these little coin cell batteries. And again, they're good for about a year. And I'm just going to take a look here. We've got okay, good question, and actually I just learned this one last week. The question came up as I was showing you how to remove some of the series, and as you saw, I had to go back and reopen the plot. Now, if you want to hide a particular series so you don't see it anymore, I'm gonna take out the kilowatt hours here. What you're going to do is right-click. Bear with me here, because as I said, I just learned how to do this. Let me do it the way that I know how. We come up to Edit, we go to Graph Properties, and actually what you can do here is uncheck Connect Points, and then you hit Done. Now I still have the series highlighted so you can see it grayed out, but as soon as you click anywhere else, your data's gone, or it appears to be gone. But it's still here in the series. So if you want to bring that back, we like to call this one the onset secret of the day. Occasionally us internal folks learn something new, and that was mine. So if we want to bring it back in, we click here and hit Apply or Done, and now you can see that you've got your data coming back in. Well, it looks like I've kind of hit the limit here on my half an hour, so I don't want to take any more of your time. What I'm going to do here is take a look at all the questions, and I'll do a follow-up just so everybody can see what's going on. Thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it. And you know, again, if you do have any questions after that, that's me, but that's my contact information there. So feel free to email me. You can always hit Logger Help, which is for our tech support guys, or you can hit Sales at OnSet Comp for the sales folks, or you can just pick up the phone. You can get us at 800-564-4377 and ask for somebody in product applications or in technical support, or ask for myself, and we'll be able to help you out. Thank you again for your time. I appreciate it, and have a great day.